Good afternoon, and it's Thursday, the 30th of April, and it's the two wise birds here again. Myself, Jane Lelean, and Sue Boynton. Over to you, Sue, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hiya, I'm Sue Boynton and I'm an independent dental legal consultant. So, Jane, I hear something exciting's happened today. What's been going on?
Oh, yeah, so it's amazing. Today is the 30th of April. A year ago, I decided that I was going to do Run Every Day May. And I didn't believe that I could run 31 days on the trot. Everybody tells you shouldn't run every single day. I'm not a runner. And here we are, 366 days later, and I have run every single day. It was never about how long, how fast. It was about the discipline of running every day. And I never set any goals. Throughout the whole thing, I've just been curious. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? And that curiosity of what is possible has got me to this place that I would never ever have believed if it's possible. If somebody said to me a year ago, you're going to run every single day for the next year, I'd go, don't be so stupid. So yes, every single day for a whole year. And not only that, it's 16 months today since I've had a drop of alcohol as well. So I'm feeling incredibly virtuous.
Wow, I was just going to ask you how you feel with that achievement.
I yeah, I feel liberated. I feel really proud of myself. And again, I'm curious about, well, if this is possible with the level of doubt I had, what is possible with this as a springboard moving forward? Who
Yep.
knows what's going to happen next?
And I think this is an interesting time for that because in dentistry, we've got loads of uncertainty.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
don't know what's going to happen next. And I think people need to be open to thinking about things in a different way, taking their own responsibility about things as well.
Absolutely. And I think that as dentists, I think that many of us want certainty. We're comfortable with certainty. We like process, procedure. We like evidence based dentistry that is predictable. And we're at a time when professionally, any of that certainty and predictability has been taken away from us. And then I think it just comes back to curiosity. What happens when we replace certainty with curiosity? What do we discover? What is possible? And don't get me wrong, yes, I think there are some things that we do need to be certain about, and that is how we keep ourselves, our team, and our patients safe.
Yeah,
But I think,
and I think that's right. And I think there's lots of information coming in now. In fact, there's a deluge of information coming in for dentists and teams. And I'd say don't get overrun by that. Look at the critical things that you need to look at, but don't be chasing all the social media groups and everything because you can't keep track of everything. I tell you what, this is really good for. I've helped a lot of dentists who are overrunning their practices. They can't control their appointment book, they can't sort it out. This is the time for planning that when you go back. For planning, what do I want to do? How do I want to zone my time? Even
absolutely.
though we don't know exactly what we're going to be doing yet, people can have that plan in their heads.
Absolutely, and I do an awful lot of stuff with practices about what I call smart zoning their
Yeah,
appointment books. I've come across a huge number of dentists that think their appointment books are zoned, but they've been zoned really badly because they've never understood the principles. And certainly the way I work with my clients is about what's the principle behind this? What are we trying to achieve? And absolutely, you're bang on that this is the time for preparation. That no, we don't know when we're going to go back. We don't know what's going to happen. We certainly don't know what's going to happen about remuneration for the NHS. We don't know
yeah,
how long surgeries are going to need to be closed between appointments. But we can learn about the principles of smart zoning so that when we do get that certainty back, we can apply it so it works for us or works for
Yeah,
them.
absolutely. It's almost like having a fresh start,
Yeah.
which I think is really, really helpful. So I think a lot of practices can take advantage of that. I tell you the other thing I'm hearing at the moment, and I don't know if you've heard this, that there's some practices planning to go back to routine dentistry shortly.
Yeah, I've heard
Have you
that.
heard that?
Yeah, I've heard of practices that are planning to go back
Mm,
middle of May.
yeah. And what I'd say to anybody working in those is take some advice because
Absolutely.
you're responsible ultimately for what you do. You'll know me, I'm often directing people to their Indemnify saying, pick up the phone, get
Absolutely.
specific advice for you on your specific situation because these are the guys that are going to have your back if there's a complaint, if there's a legal case, if the GDC are involved, CQC, anyone like that. So be cautious.
Absolutely, because I understand that for associates and particularly those young dentists or overseas dentists that haven't got a strong network,
Yeah,
it's very easy for them to feel pressured and intimidated.
yeah, absolutely.
And they don't know how to stand up to bullies. I'm not saying that everybody's a bully, but sometimes it can feel like that. And absolutely, we've got to be thinking about, well, what are the current documented guidelines? If you are going back,
Yeah.
well, please demonstrate.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if there's a specific reason you're not going to follow the guidelines, be ready to
Yeah,
justify your thought
absolutely.
process and document that at the time.
Absolutely.
And again, I'd say pick up the phone and get some advice at that time as
And we've
well.
spoken about this before, haven't we? About the importance of journaling or diarising at this time, recording the conversations that you're having, recording the information you're looking at. It may be that in this day and age you need to save it and print it off or something so you've
Yeah,
got it to refer to just in
yeah.
case.
I think that's absolutely right. Good advice there.
Well, I've been caught by the VAT people in the past that they accused us of something that was untrue,
Hmm.
and we didn't have screenshots.
Yeah,
And so, absolutely, my experience is share it with somebody else. We got through it. We were exonerated. However, it was 18 months of unpleasantness that we could have prevented had we have had a screenshot. But as
yeah,
soon as the digital stuff moves on, it disappears.
yeah. So that's good advice, documenting everything. And I think screenshots are fantastic.
Yeah, and they're easy to do.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, the next week, what do you think is going to be happening in the next week?
I think it's really difficult to say. I think we're still waiting for the NHS to say what's happening in relation to contracts, payments now and payments going forwards as well. Gathering more data, which seems to make things more onerous for practices at the moment. Maybe that can be sorted out because I think that's quite scary too. PPE, what are we going to be doing with that? There still seems to be a shortage of it for UDCs. So lots of stuff going on at the moment.
I know, I know. And in all of this, I think it's probably very, very important that practice owners, associates are communicating with their patients so that they feel safe and secure in their practice, reassured that as and when the doors open, yeah, it may be different,
Yeah,
but
I think
we've got our patients' best interests at heart.
yeah. And don't assume that patients understand infection control. They don't understand how good we are at that as dentists. So I think there's the opportunity there to explain that, maybe with little videos and that sort of thing. We have always been up to date with the guidelines as a profession and indeed exceeded them. So we don't want patients thinking we haven't been doing anything right in the past just because we may be doing something differently going forwards.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, is different. This
Yeah.
virus has changed the environment. It wasn't that what we were doing before was inadequate.
Mm.
The environment has changed dramatically. And because of that, we need to be responsive.
Yeah.
And I think responsive rather than reactive.
Yeah.
Well, and what about you?
Absolutely.
What about you? What do the next 7 days hold for you before we chat again?
Oh, well, Jane, this afternoon I'm going out for a run. You'd be impressed by that.
Okay. Is that
Running's
only...
only 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
Yeah, running, gardening, working from home.
Yeah.
Just making sure there's a work-life balance and catching up with friends over FaceTime, that sort of thing.
No.
How
Yeah.
about you?
Well, do you know what? I might start Run Everyday May tomorrow. I might draw a line in the sand, but if it's chucking it down with rain, I might go, do you know what? I don't need to go out. So I'm going to focus on being curious. What can I be curious about? I'm going to play in my garden. My quince tree's just coming into bloom, so hopefully there's going to be an abundance of quince. I'm going to continue being here for anybody that needs those help calls. And as you say, friends, family connection. And yeah, and I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to just enjoy the opportunity that we have available to us. It might be different, rough with a smooth, but it's different, and I'm going to enjoy it. And I'm going to pray that the sun shines this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Look forward to catching up with you next week.
Okay, take care. Bye for now.